Hey guys, welcome back to the Ask Muso podcast, brought to you by Yellow Music. I'm very excited today to have a guest that is normally used to asking the questions himself. Very popular, very well-known musical identity, especially around the coast, someone that I have known of and seen from bits and bobs around the coast ever since I moved here 5 years ago. So, without any further ado, Rhys, introduce yourself, give us a little bit of a g'day about you and start us off.
It went beep again, man. But
Look, we're just rolling with it.
We roll with it. I
I
know that feeling. I actually don't live on the coast anymore. So
it was lovely to have you. Thank you so much.
I'll
we should
go
do this
now.
again sometime.
But most of my stuff's based here still. So yeah. I've been playing in bands around here since 1994. So yeah, a long time.
Yeah,
a long time. Yeah. So I used to play in a band called Barefoot, which was probably the most well-known one, for 10 years. Had a band called Mules. We're kind of on a break at the moment. In Flaskus, I'm in High Tropics, and now currently in another band in Brisbane.
Ah, there we go. So the 4 strings, has it always been, or the 4 and the 5 strings, has it always
6.
been, has it always been that? Like, how did you sort of start music as a player?
Yeah, I actually learnt trumpet first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it gave me headaches. So I don't know why. And they moved me on to basically euphonium.
Okay.
And that worked. And it also got me into reading bass clef.
Okay, yeah.
So reading music. And then in high school, they needed someone to come in that could read music, that could learn play bass, because the bass player in the concert band at the time, because I went to Nebel High.
Yep.
He was aging out. He was basically finishing grade 12. So the deal was that he would teach me the rudimentary of bass, and I'd teach him how to read music.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
I went, cool, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
And they basically gave me the school bass, like this, whatever it was. I think it was a Fender copy or something like that for the school holidays to take home and learn as quickly as I could.
Okay.
And then went from there.
So the actual bass itself, you actually learnt the instrument from scratch, already having something just because you knew how to read music?
Yeah, pretty much. And they gave you like a learn how to play bass book. And they can just
Bass for dummies.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, it used to come like with the CD and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So back in the day.
Yeah. On the compact disc.
Yes. At least it wasn't on the cassette player.
Yeah, it wasn't on the wireless.
So I don't know. I just found a natural sort of attraction to it, I guess. I just loved playing. As soon as I picked it up and figured out how to use it. I mean, I played a little bit of guitar on that, but bass made sense to me. Probably the way drums make sense to you.
Yeah. That rhythmic sort of thing. And I got the call up a couple of times because I was one of the ones that could read music as well, because my teachers had instilled in me an importance. Nothing like ridiculous, but just like you need to at least understand what the pictures mean, basically. Even if you're not going to be looking at it all the time, just be aware, just understand how it all works and what the picture is for you and how you can fit in with other people. And I did it a couple of times. A concert band example where he just didn't show up. And they're like,
anyone else?
Have this. And I was like, I'm already here for the night for something else. And they're like, also, you got 15 minutes. And I'm like, yep, I'll grab those bits of writing and and also there's nothing I could look up. They weren't look-upable songs.
No.
And I was like, okay, well, I guess, good. At least I don't have to count him in. I don't have to worry about the tempo. She's got the tempo up the front. And then, we just sort of went from there. And that's when I was like, yeah, this is important. I need to.
To be fair, I can't sight read for shit.
Read the music, but the sight reading is in like
on the fly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and some of the concert music, I had to learn how to do that, and I basically fluffed it.
Yeah.
I just made up
a lot of ghost notes, a lot of riffs in there.
No, I could see where
we needed to
read.
End up. Yeah.
Right, but like the rhythmic side of things or like that, I just went. I just listened to what was going on. I went, oh yeah, do that. I never really got pulled up on it.
There you go.
Mainly because I wasn't a feature point. I was just a backbone. So it's just me and the drummer who still plays drums too. I follow her on social media and then she was a drum teacher and all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
But basically, I would follow her, and I've always followed drums ever since. So as long as the drums are good, I'm usually locked in and I'm fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just listened to what was going on around me, and no one really picked me up on it because the focus was always on like the brass or the woodwinds.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
You're just one in
the
real back.
The real sort of tell. I remember this because I used to do stage band as well as concert band.
Okay. Yep.
So for the kids at home, concert band's all the old school, big orchestral things. Stage band's more jazzy and freeform.
Yeah.
And went to a stage band competition. It was like a all schools competition thing.
Okay.
And I watched someone that was actually properly trained to bass, and I just went, yeah, I'm out of my league here.
Like, this is great. So this makes you feel like a hobby player right now.
Yeah, this girl on bass, man, she was absolutely killing it. I remember that, just going, yeah, I'm out of my league.
Were you playing in bands at the time? Like,
Yeah.
At that point, you'd like, I want to do this more.
Yeah, the first band I was in, we ended up winning like a battle of the bands and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, we were actually quite well known for like a young band.
Yeah.
So 94, 95 and even 96, yeah. That band went on to become Melodicy without me in it, which then split into like a couple of members went to Dead Letter Circus and yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Okay, wow, yeah. So that's really a bunch of people that were...
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Okay. So where to from there? So like, where did you sort of go musically from there? Did it just keep rolling?
I had
You
a
just did
break.
stuff out? Yeah. Oh, you took a...
Well, yeah, I had a break. I went and did an apprenticeship as a baker, and that doesn't match well with playing music because you're up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. Exactly.
But then, yeah, I ended up playing, forming bands along the way. I think I'm at that stage. There's 2 bands I was sort of mucking around with, and then I've just basically been consistently in bands ever since.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, well then, to shift laterally, when, like, tell me about the Point Music News. Like, how did that kick off? We're looking at, like, 15 years now. Like, how did that all sort of kick off, or where did the idea come from to sort of launch that?
So, there used to be a street press on the Sunshine Coast back in the day called Tsunami, and they were great. And then they did some heavy focus on Sunshine Coast and then Brisbane. And then they started getting to the point where there was more nationwide in Brisbane, and there was hardly any Sunshine. There was like literally like a third of a page.
Oh, okay. And this was a physical publication, yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, that's not cool. And the Sunshine Coast had a scene like in the early 2000s. There was a really good scene, like for heavy music. So you had the likes of like Butterfly Effect, and they used to come up here a lot.
Okay, sick.
And with Melodicy, and then you had all these other sort of, there was like this real good sort of heavy movement and punk movement, and there was sort of like a little bit of inklings of a roots movement coming through as well.
Okay.
All sort of unusual sort of stuff. Clearly, we didn't have places like Soul Bar or anything at that stage.
Yep.
We had the Sands Tavern.
Okay, right, yep.
Sands Tavern. And a few other places around, but
And was that like the only places to put on heavy music, or was it one of the only places to put on music?
Well, there used to be like the hall gigs and that sort of stuff.
Okay,
too,
yeah.
which is a little more like underground. But the whole thing was that I'd noticed a split in the scene, particularly the heavy scene, and it's a certain genre. I'm not going to point fingers now, but there was a certain genre that was very clicky, and if you happen to get it as a heavy band that wasn't in that scene but happened to get onto a gig with them, it was shit.
Okay, yep.
Because their followers would basically be there for them, and then they would leave.
Yep.
And then you'd end up playing to like
3 people in the
10
Sandy,
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was really disheartening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it was disjointed, and like the scene used to be really united.
Yep, real community based, yeah.
Yeah. And I noticed that splintering. I just went, this is not cool. So I went, you know what? Let's see if I can bring it back together.
Okay, yeah.
And so I started the point called the Point Sunshine Coast at the time.
Yeah.
In 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea was to unify the scene, and it was basically sharing news of other bands that people might not even heard of or take the time to.
Yep.
And go from there. And
Okay.
whatever releases they had, it was just basically a news portal kind of thing that I put together, and just built on from that.
Okay, so the idea behind it is so to what it is today, like the idea of being a hub, a pool of news and information that's Sunshine Coast based. And
It's different now because I went nationwide in 2022.
yeah, okay. And what was the idea behind that?
There's a lot of things. I kept on getting, like, word got out to publicists that wanted some stuff going through nationwide, so they basically started
Hitting
feeding
you
through
up.
to me.
Yeah.
So I went, you know what, let's just open it up. I mean, the Sunshine Coast is a breeding pool, a hotbed.
Yeah. We got there in the end.
Got there of musical talent. There is a lot
sure.
here, but like the mainstream media only generally focuses on one or two that are media friendly.
Of course,
Or not even media friendly, just because there's hype about them or anything like that. When there's a lot more guys, God, that used to piss me off.
Yeah.
To the point where I just went, you know, I can't care about that.
No.
There's no point. In doing
Absolutely.
it. So when I started doing my podcast was basically when I opened it up to nationwide.
Okay, yeah.
And that was during COVID, yeah.
Yeah, because that was, it's the same sort of time as me. And I think the idea of, just like you doing, talking to people in more of a setting, because like it was obvious that we weren't playing, so it's like we were just talking, you're just getting to know people more and trying to better understand their story and what they were doing and those sorts of things.
Yeah, mine was because I missed my friends.
Yeah.
During COVID, so if you look at the original episodes and that, they're all talking to people I used to like gig with, and we couldn't see them because of COVID.
So we just
So I just would chats with them, and then eventually steamrolled into nationwide sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Any like I'm sure there's lots, but like any notable ones that you care to?
I thought you were going to bring that up.
Like freaking favorite kids.
Well, we're up to episode 83 at the moment, so. Interviewing Phil Jameson from Grinspoon was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cav Templey from Eskimo Joe he's the loveliest dude.
Okay, yeah.
It's probably one of my faves. I don't know. The one I did with Mick from Sunny Coast Rude Boys and Cool Britannia.
Yeah.
That was classic because it just kept on stuffing up. We just went with it, and he's the funniest guy. You would probably.
I know of it for sure. Yeah, know of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mick, he's very business savvy. Like the stuff he does is brilliant. But 2, great musician.
Yeah,
and knows a lot of stuff. And 3, he's just the loveliest dude.
Yeah.
Had pretty fun one with Jerome Burchard too of Music Simply, but he also plays in like Jungle Rags. I think it's Jungle Rags.
Okay,
he's a percussionist. Yeah.
Okay, yep.
I don't know. There's a few there. I always have a good time with most people.
That's the thing, and I found doing this that there's some that surprise you.
Yeah.
Like I've had some where I'm like, okay, I've got just because I don't maybe know you so well, I've got myself about 25 questions. I've got myself a bit of a safety net just in case I ask something and you go, I don't really want to talk about that or something like that, and I'm suddenly on the ropes a little bit, and then I just forget that anything's there, and
I usually wing it.
I always do, like I've said to you, I like to get a bit of an idea. What do you want to touch on? What do you want me to do with a touch point sort of thing? But then also just. I don't think people have probably spoken to you about you for a bit, or maybe ever. So I'm happy for you to let lead it. And that's the same with a lot of musos. They're like, oh, there's no way I could talk for maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Now, the next thing you know, it's like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's been 35 minutes, but we're going to have to wrap it up. So tell everyone, where can they find you? And they don't believe. They don't believe that.
It goes fast. It's particularly if you go on tangents and stuff like that.
Exactly. And people are just happy to... People, like, they don't understand how much they're actually happy to talk about themselves in a way that is really genuine. Like, I'm genuinely here to hear about you, and they're like, oh wow, that's okay, sweet, okay, and this and that and bibbity bob. So it's been great to have that as a community thing. And like, what do you see the community and the Sunshine Coast maybe broader music scene like now? I know there's obviously some doom and gloom around it, and we say have something closed every 2 weeks, but where do you see that? As someone who's been doing it for a while, the peaks and troughs of things opening, things closing, people doing stuff.
It goes in cycles.
Yep.
Simple as that. You're right about people going on about the doom and gloom thing, but the ones that are going on about the doom and gloom thing, apart from 1 or 2, they haven't been in the industry as long, and they're just going, oh, it's panic buttons. No, bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's forever shifting, and it's just basically we're going to have to adapt to whatever is going through the motions now. The amount of music that comes through to me is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So there's still music being made.
Oh, yeah. There's still
and
people doing it.
Yeah. And also when they're saying, oh, no one's going to gigs anymore, I'm calling bullshit on that too, because like I see plenty of times where venues are still sold out. It sucks about the Zoo, and that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Have you played the Zoo before?
Yeah.
It's a great venue, man.
It's an awesome venue. Like I was blown away when I actually went in there, because you see it when you walk up through the valley. You see the big upstairs room, but it's an epic space.
Yeah, I mean, it was never always the best sound, but just the vibe of it, and it was just because it was an institution, I always wanted to play it. I ended up playing it, I think, 3 times. So, and it's always, and I've been to several gigs there as well. I mean, it sucks about the festivals, but I mean, I had this chat with Paddy from the Dregs about the festival sort of things going on. They could bring up the whole split in the grass thing, which sucked, but maybe we have festival fatigue. I mean, we do get a lot of festivals in here. The boutique ones and the ones that are very genre specific, like the heavy ones, they're killing it.
Yeah, exactly. Like when we were driving to Ellie Beach the other day, Caleb and Jet talking about talking about the next Not Fest and all these sorts of things, they've sort of kicked off recently and full steam ahead.
Yeah. I mean, Woodford's put in sort of alarms.
Okay.
Because they're saying that if they don't exceed expectation this year, that may be the end of it. I'm just going, oh, okay.
Is that just a safety buffer? Is that just
Well, they were
under promise?
Yeah, I don't know. Woodford's a hard one, man, because like I mean, you've been to Woodford, done it, yeah, and I've played it a few times, been there a few times, and it is a unique festival experience.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything else like that anywhere in Australia because it becomes its own town.
Well, yeah, it's
for that 7 days.
Yeah, and it's not near stuff. Like
Yeah.
and I think that's the Venn diagram of festivals and places that are not near stuff. Think about Groove in the Mood. That's built on the fact that it's not near stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole appeal, is that it's somewhere more remote, more rural.
See, I don't know why Groove in the Mood didn't.
Well, especially here, I don't know why it didn't work. I know there's lots of other bits
because people have seen citing the whole cost of living crisis thing. But I work in retail, okay, and I work in high end retail. That's my day job. People are still spending money.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't.
Is it a priorities thing?
I think it's the insurance thing is an issue.
Well, that's definitely true. Yeah, I think I think it was interesting when the zoo put out their post.
Yeah.
It's 50% more expensive to do this.
Yep.
I get 25% less people, and of the 25% less people, they spend 20% less each time they come.
It's also the demographics shifting where the younger demographic aren't drinking as much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if you go back to when like I was heavily playing for like the last 10, 15 years or so, like I've sort of eased up a little bit now, but like I'm in my mid 40s now, and the same people my age now, we don't go out as much. Priorities shift.
Yeah.
And the younger generation come through, maybe they just don't drink as much, and maybe the venues need to find a different aspect of revenue. I don't know. I don't have an answer for this.
I think that's an interesting point. And the other thing that I spoke about with Rusty a little while ago, was that a lot of people that just before my age never went out because they couldn't for 3 years. And then they found alternative things to do, or they just didn't find a necessity to doing it because they went, I've never done it before. I'm not super bothered. Like, it is what it is. They didn't know to miss it because they never did it.
Yeah, exactly.
That period between 18 and 21, and they just sat at home.
Yeah.
So they either found out something else to do, or or they're now getting into it now. And
honestly, I don't know. Like, I've got a daughter that's turning 23, and I know that she goes to festivals, but she doesn't. If she's going out, she had a period of time where she went out quite a bit, and nowadays she's like happy being at home playing on a Switch.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's not even like an exact science. It's just the shift. That's just been the shift. And I suppose that's what I always find interesting when people say, "Oh gosh, you're always on your business and your gizmos." And it's like, are you trying to tell me that if you'd had those, then you definitely wouldn't touch it? Like, perhaps it's just a mixture of where things are going at the moment, the cycle that we're in, and then also having alternatives.
Maybe like I suffer from social anxiety, and maybe there was an increase of that.
Yeah,
and that affects people wanting to go out too.
Absolutely.
If I had the answers for this, I'd be solving the problem, and we'd be fucking back onto it. But I don't think anyone actually has the legit answer.
No,
I did see another podcast. I'm not going to name who they are, but they're very popular, and they were saying that young musicians don't have anywhere to basically start their following anymore because of he was basically going on the doom and gloom of it. Yeah, I understand the point they were making, but I don't think that's the case. And some other people are saying maybe the underground movement, and yeah, cool, we might get some of those they used to have at the Price Street Hall in Nambour here. They used to have the full metalcore, hardcore sort of gigs and that. I don't know if they do them anymore, but
they're trying. Well, I was actually going to say the Nambour thing is actually going really well. They're bringing back like old Ambo,
old Ambo,
Black Box Theatre and stuff like that. Things are going on there. It's now become a place to play, which is so cool to see. And Commercial's doing heavy stuff. Yeah, Commercial's doing a lot of heavy stuff. Like every couple of weeks or something, they've got these groups that are from like 12 till 5 or something, and they're doing music from 12, heavy music from 12 till 5, and I'm like, that's awesome. There seems to be lots of stuff going on, and then you got like the Precinct, which is happy to put on anything. So it's, I think percentage of venues is. I don't think we've gone backwards. I think we're in the same spot because, for one, there's one that goes. But I think the balance is still there. It's just a matter of what we sort of do with that and how we prioritize supporting it.
What Rossi's done with the precinct, because originally it was going to be like a massive venue. Like if we're going back, this is during COVID.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and it was going to be like where the Vogue is now.
Exactly. Well, the Vogue's another one as well. Yeah,
but the Vogue's it's a different thing again.
Yeah.
I think she's done the right thing by going a smaller capacity venue. It'd be a lot easier to manage, I guess, from her perspective. I like dive bar atmosphere, and that's the thing. Like playing dive bars is you're playing to a more compact audience, but it's more fun because it's
an intimate crowd. There's something about that.
Yeah, I mean the stage is tiny, but you make out what you can make out with. Right?
Exactly, that's part of the fun, I suppose. Yeah, like I get that. Like I've done places all around the place where it's like, oh gosh, so we're playing in the space.
Rick's Bar in the Valley, like the front room.
Playing in front of the mirror.
Yeah,
that was my first experience playing at Rick's. Was at the mirror room. Like that's side on.
Yeah.
To a wall of mirrors with stickers on it. Who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, it was so. It was kind of like pissing in the toilet when you got like the mirrors right in front.
Yeah,
of you. Just going, this is really awkward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. But you made the best of it.
Yeah, like even playing Greaser Bar is like a narrow little thing, but you make it work.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm on a stage. Greaser. I know it's about as tall as this rug is off the floor, but it's still a stage. Because those things happen. I think I like doing that, and having done a lot of. Those ones around that are still about and stuff. Obviously, you would have had different ones, but I know there's still a lot of them that are the same ones that you'd be playing. What's somewhere that you have? I don't know. What's somewhere that you've found has been a notable place to play, other than the zoo, perhaps in your time?
Ooh, Triffid.
Oh, yep,
dude. I played it twice with Barefoot. I think the first one was playing with the Black Seeds, supporting the Black Seeds.
Okay,
yeah, and the second time was part of like a Roots Festival thing.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, Triffid's a next level thing, man.
Yeah.
They just have it dialed in. Great sound, great backline.
Yep. Such a unique space for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, but for like something that's so high and like it's basically a hangar.
Well, literally, yeah.
But if you look at the way they've soundproofed and everything, you just go, okay, they worked out the science of this.
They literally worked out the science of it. Like,
but it's an amazing venue. The green room's next level too because they had this like little airlock thing.
Okay. Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you got to go left hand side of the stage. There's the first door, and then there's this massive airlock. And then you open up that you can't go through the next door until the other door closes because it's like a big soundproofing barrier thing.
Oh wow!
And then you got the green room, and then the green room's pretty big, and you just chill out in there, and then get back on stage.
It's like as a punter, it's anywhere you stand is good. Which that can be a balance that can be tricky to nail anyway. Space that's essentially a sound treated box, whereas it's not that. As you say, it's a very, but they've thought of everything. Yeah. No, that's it's definitely one on the list to play.
I mean, playing the old night quarter was pretty cool.
Yep.
I mean, currently a station, so yeah, that was a pretty cool stage too.
Yeah, because it has this like inside outside feel.
Yeah, I find that like Norton's is like a mini version of that.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Okay.
So I find the easiest way when someone says, "Oh, what's it like playing Norton's?" It's like a cross between playing Soul Bar and Night Quarter or Station merged together because it's got that sort of lower lo-fi kind of vibe. But
your connection with outside.
I just think it's a cool setup the way it's done because it's kind of like playing a beer garden but not playing a beer garden, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's like I'm inside and I'm fully inside, but it expands. I'm playing out to the people or something. Yeah. I think it's a very cool space. I remember going there for the first time when he was really just starting to take it seriously, and it was you had to go inside to do stuff and put gear in the inside of the place, and don't touch that, and you can't go through that door because that's something else, and then we're going to get rid of that wall soon, and that thing's going to go, and I was like, sweet man, sky's the limit. I love that you got all these things cooking, and then progressively every time I've gone back, there's something new, there's something different happening, there's a different sound system, new lights, the stages change. I
love the choice of amps that Liam's got set up.
Yeah, well, when was the last time you were there? Because they've actually changed it now. It's more conventional. It's actually drum kit in the back and then amps in that middle range rather than all the amps at the back with the drums.
Okay, no, it's been a while since I think the last gig I did there would have been with Mules.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and that was like last year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I only just went there the other day, and for to notice that. So it's a bit more conventional on that front. So yeah, the amps in that mid space, and then the drums at the back still. But it's a cool space. It's always been we've always enjoyed playing there. Whether I'm playing with Sailing in Space or Delacoma and stuff, it's always been a cool space to play. And
I've always had fun there.
Exactly, and I'm like, so there's still stuff going on. And he's still doing something every weekend. Putting on underage stuff as well.
Yeah, I did see that last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose that's the interesting thing as well. I've noticed a shift in that, I think. With,
how so?
Just people putting on, like, licensed venues, finding ways to put on underage events.
Underage is a really hard one to do because of the licensing aspect of things.
Exactly.
And also bringing crowd in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously you're going to have the parents and family are going to support the young bands coming through, and that's great. But a lot of the time it is very difficult to get underage things happening. A lot of the time they're actually going to be back to those underground things.
Yeah.
Or school events and that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But if they're given the chance to, like in the case of like Wave Raiders, when they get to open up for artists and that, I mean, they have to be off the venue by like 9 o'clock, I think it is still.
Yeah, 9 or 9:30, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. It's still a great opportunity.
Absolutely. And there's so much in there that you can, like, there's so many opportunities that I've noticed since moving here, just in the DIY setup. Like, people have put stuff on that isn't just a gazetted event at a venue that's on a weekend. Like, people are happy to try something different and put something together. And I got a couple of lights, and I got a couple of, like, I was chatting with the boys from Catching Salmon the other day, and Riley's like, I'll play in your fucking laundry, mate. Like, I'll do whatever. Like, I've noticed that as a cultural thing. I suppose perhaps maybe you could comment on from early times, but for me, I've found that DIY people were happy to put stuff together. They're resourceful.
Back in my day, house parties were a thing. Yeah, definitely, and they still are. I know. It's just harder because it's Sunshine Coast now is so compact compared to what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, me growing up as a teenager in the 90s and that, house parties used to be the thing to play at. But to be fair, I really don't like playing them.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the gear aspect of things.
Well, that's definitely true.
People getting completely wasted and trashed, and then the next thing you know, they want to play your kit, or
and
and you just go no, and then like, oh well, come on, man, I've been playing for years. Like, come on, just off your chop,
move along. Yeah,
He's going to be held accountable for this sort of stuff, right?
That's it, 100%.
The public liability thing.
Well, that's it, yeah.
And also just the risk of you running with noise complaints and shit. I mean, I like to think that people are pretty cool and relaxed and like support things, but at the same time, you're always going to get...
And you only need one.
Yeah.
Like, you only need one. That's what it boils down to. It doesn't matter if everyone thinks it's a grouse idea until someone doesn't.
I mean, I'm all for it. If you want to be supporting and creating this sort of underground culture, go for it. But those things...
Factor in the above,
They've got to be considered. Like,
for sure. As much as there's validity to trying to do stuff yourself, like... The energy and the attitude that you've got is great. Let's figure out how the most constructive way we can sort of channel that. Like, I think that's what's important now more than, in this part of the cycle, I suppose. It's important to be like, okay, you've got energy, you've got intent, you got a lot of guys that you want to play with, a lot of people that I know will support you. How can we sort of channel that into...
And also, are you just treating this as a hobby?
Yeah.
So the majority of musicians I know, they have other jobs.
Yeah.
Me personally, I've never. And I've never wanted to put 100% into being a musician because like that report that came out, it was saying the average wage for a musician earns is $6,000 a year.
Yeah.
I wish I saw $6,000 a year.
Yeah, he's gonna say. You see that? You got $6,000. The 1%. They're at it again.
Yay.
Like
rich bastards.
Like average.
Yeah, I mean, I do know of like you look at Andrea Cohen. She makes a living off her music. Yeah, look at like Brett Gadeen from Raw Audio, absolutely slaying it right now. They all have that music as their source of income, but that's a very small amount compared to how many musicians there actually are around.
Exactly, and whether they want to or not, like.
You really have to give it all and willing to risk everything. I mean, I wasn't willing to do that. I'm just happy just to play, do my thing, use it as an outlet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And is that what you see the point as now, as an outlet to...
It always has been.
To foster? Is it...
mentor, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, to a degree. Like you talk to the Catch and Salmon boys or the Chamberlain boys, like they used to hit me up for advice and that. and I'd help them out with running a press release or help them out with an EPK or something, just
Exactly.
guide them. And man, look at them now.
Exactly.
Chamberlain are killing it.
Yeah, exactly. No, absolutely. And I think that's how I came into contact with you in a third party setting, was seeing that you're always about, that this name was always about, like, yes, you played, but you were always doing other stuff and that nurturing that.
Okay, so there is a lot of gatekeeping in this industry, a lot, and they won't tell you this, but it's a case of fuck around and find out a lot of the time.
Yep.
And the answers are always there. It's just you got to ask the right question to do it, and you got to ask the right person.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize how to pitch to, say, like Triple J, without going through a back end way. There is a way of doing it, but things like how to pitch, how to write a damn press release. I actually did PR as a degree.
Okay,
so, like, I actually have that benefit, but it's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
Stuff like APRA, and uploading to AMRAP. Because community radio is the backbone of this industry.
Absolutely.
Really, don't fucking rely on Triple J.
No, there's
don't rely on Triple J. Don't rely on Triple J on Earth. Don't rely on any of that. All right, Triple J is good for people with money behind them. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be honest here. Community radio is the shit.
Absolutely.
The Triple Z, FBI, Triple R down in Melbourne, all those radio stations there. And then just when you get on the AMRAP, they give you the map. Yeah. Of all the radio stations to contact, and there's like so many of them, and all you got to do is just basically get a template, a pitch, and away you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Distribution. Some people just didn't know how to do distribution properly, and some people still don't know how to do distribution properly.
Also true. Yeah,
and it's not that hard.
I guess, but by the same token, it's like there's also now so many different ways of doing it. A lot of people get overwhelmed because there's so many different ways of doing it.
Well, okay, so I'm an avid TikTok consumer. And something that Amy Shark put up kind of annoyed me. I mean, all respects to Amy Shark, and I actually loved Amy when she first started out before like Adore and that sort of stuff came out. Golden Fleece was an amazing song. But when the level she's at now, like she's a Sony artist, she's got houses everywhere, well, 2 houses, but whatever, on Australian Idol.
Of course.
And then she's gone on and about how hard it is to do all your own social media. And I was just going, you've got a whole fucking label. And then Guy Sebastian comments underneath it just saying, oh, tell me about it. I'm just going, dude, read the fucking room. Yeah. There's all these independent artists that are basically managing their own business, trying to do all the pitching. They have to do social media creation, like kind of creative output and everything.
Yeah, that content creation thing is a prerequisite now. It's not a non-negotiable.
It's so fucking tiring.
Yeah.
And you have to create like content for TikTok, create content for Instagram, have to do the right thing with Facebook, even though like a lot of people don't like using Facebook these days. These venues still look at Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook events, pretty much events, I feel like hold up 25 to 50% of Facebook.
Then having to learn how to use Meta and advertising properly, you have to become a social media manager. Mm-hmm. And then also find the time to create music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how do you squeeze that in? And like that, and that's the thing. It's like,
you just pull it out of your ass.
Yeah, yeah, and like and utilizing that time to not only just not create just like creative poos, but like also get that balance of, because I've spoken to a lot of people this season in particular about getting past that. Is music a means to an end to get the content creation so people come to the shows? Or like, and then they're like, oh yeah, I suppose music's meant to be the focus, though, isn't it? Like, music's the focus.
What you need to ask is why you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, playing music's always been in my blood, and I like the feeling of being on stage. I don't know about you, but when I get on stage, I'm a completely different person. Just for 1 hour, I don't have to worry about whatever the fuck's going on up here. I'm focusing on remembering the goddamn bass lines. Whatever harmonies, if I'm doing backup vocals in it, and basically just...
I'm there. I'm present.
Yep.
Yep.
And when you're looking at the crowd a lot of the time, like very rarely do I pick out faces. They just become blank. Mm-hmm. Unless I notice someone that I haven't seen in a while and just go, oh, fuck, hey, crazy, come we play. Cool. But yeah, I get to disassociate from my everyday life and become just that different person. Yeah. Just for an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's good for your mental health, but also music, being a musician's so fucking harmful to your mental health too. If you get so entrenched into, oh, no one's liking me, or no one's living that, man.
It's a gateway to that in one way or the other. Like it's...
Yeah. And it's something you have to learn to let go of, and it's taken me 30 years to learn how to let go of.
Yeah, yeah.
And the way I do it, like I was saying to you earlier off air, like I ride. So that's my escape.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I'm not thinking about what song I have to review next, what song I have to try and learn now. I just get to escape from that, and God damn it, makes you feel better.
Absolutely. And I think, absence, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder. Often you can just have that breather, have that break, and then come back and got a bit more of a fire in your belly because you had that chance on your terms to take a breather, I guess.
The only other advice I'd probably say as a musician is believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let whatever. There's always going to be naysayers and haters and that sort of stuff, and it doesn't really matter.
It's about what you've got.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I've been writing my own EP for the last 6 months or so, and no one knows what it is. There's 2 people I've actually heard stuff off it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just a creative outlet for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And something I've always wanted to do, and it's not heavy. It's not like roots. It's something completely different.
It is. Yeah. No, awesome. Well, what else have you got sort of going on over the next little while? Like what's on the cards?
I know Flaskus is going in the studio soon.
Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah. I had our first jam together in ages yesterday. It felt good.
Yeah.
High Tropics, I know there's an album coming.
Awesome.
I don't know if I was supposed to say that. Sorry, Josh.
You can let me know, and maybe no one will ever hear this.
He'll be fine. Yeah. And then the other band in Brisbane, I haven't announced I'm playing with them publicly yet.
Yeah, but there's something that works there.
Yeah. They're a good lot. And they've been around for a little while.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So I'll start playing some gigs with them.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Apart from that, The Point celebrates 15 years this month.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I used to do the thing called the Point Party.
Okay, yeah.
So this is probably... How long have you been on the coast for?
This is my 5th year. So I've definitely seen it. When I was playing with the Sundowners, I think I've definitely seen...
Yeah, with Lockie.
That would probably have been like the first year, and then you didn't do stuff for a bit for obvious reasons, perhaps.
The last one I did was, I think it was 2019 or 2018.
Okay, yeah.
As fun as they are, cramming 10 to 13 bands in one night and making sure they're only doing 15 to 20 minute sets.
Yeah.
When there's so many egos involved. everyone wants to be... the outcome of it was always amazing, okay?
Yeah.
It was always good. And everyone always had a brilliant time. And the last one I did raised $900 for support act.
Wow, that's pretty epic.
Yeah. But this time around, I'm just doing the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
And that was my sort of celebrating 15 years. I'm going to raise some funds for men's mental health and prostate cancer research.
Yeah. Beautiful. Fantastic. Yeah. That's something that I have, not the latter, but definitely the former is something that's very close to my heart. And, so I big ups to you for doing that. And I think that's extremely valuable.
It should be fun. I want to do a video, I think. So I'll try and get as much video footage and then all the bands that have actually contributed.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of bands that actually sort of chucked in $10 or whatever like that.
Nice.
I might just do a little mashup video.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. That's sick.
Yeah, see what I can do. I mean, I've got to try and figure out how to get the video out at the same time as writing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've got to have my quad lock on there, but it's a different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Once again, the moving parts, they never stop.
Yeah, I mean, my wife will probably come along for a ride too, so
nice.
I might do it that way. But,
that'll be good.
Yeah, and we get all dappered up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
To wear a suit and shit.
Oh, that's sick. Oh, that's super neat. That's super neat.
Should be fun, man.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you for sitting with me, Rhys. Thanks for coming to my home and for answering some questions from me.
It's kind of interesting being on the other side, to be honest with you.
No, it was a pleasure. I'm glad I got to catch up with you to do this because, I've been wanting to do this with you for a while now because I very much value your views on things and I want to learn a little bit more about how it kicked off for you.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for having me.
Well, guys, that is another episode of the Asking Muso podcast. Lovely to have Rhys here with me to talk about all things The Point and him and all the many bands he plays in. So you know where to find these ones. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all the business. And as always, guys, until next time, I'll see you later.